Around Chicago, around the clock. This is CLTV News.
Hello, I'm Greg Prather. Here's a look at your around-the-clock headlines here on CLTV. Chicago Mayor Richard Daley accepts the resignation of his budget and management director. Daley says Bill Abolt took responsibility for shortcomings in the city's hired truck program, but he also says Abolt is not the fall guy. Local pharmacists are urging the governor to abandon his plans to allow Illinoisans to buy prescription drugs from Canada. Now, they say the quality of those drugs are in question. And several hundred more jobs for Ford's Southside assembly plant. Production is being boosted by at least 20,000 cars annually to build a new series of vehicles. Those vehicles will replace the Taurus and Sable models, which are built here. That's a look at the headlines now. Your weather on the ones.
Active weather over the next 24 to 36 hours. We have calm weather tonight. We'll see temperatures in the teens, cloudy skies, but we do have a winter storm watch in effect for Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening. 4 to 7 inches of snow. We'll start off Thursday with some clouds, but as the day wears on, we'll start to see some of that snow building in. Timing of this couldn't be worse. This snow will be falling during your evening commute. It will be a mess. Once again, 4 to 7 inches is in the forecast. We'll continue to follow it here in the WGN Weather Center.
At 6:31, here's the latest CLTV around-the-clock traffic. Just got a report of a person struck by a train in Northbrook. Northbrook police are en route. We'll bring you more details as they become available. Meanwhile, westbound east-west tollway is slow at Midwest Road and also at the north-south tollway. Traffic on the southbound north-south tollway, that slows down approaching Lake Street. The westbound northwest tollway is slow at Route 53. Eastbound traffic looks okay right now. On the northbound tri-state, traffic slows down at the Bishop Ford. Southbound is jammed Willow Road to Touhy Avenue and also approaching I-80.
The fallout from the hired truck scandal cost a top Daley administration official his job. Bill Abolt submitted his resignation today as the chief of the Office of Management and Budget. We get more on the story now from CLTV's Bob Aria. Bob.
Well, Greg, the move is not entirely unexpected, but the mayor also says it was not forced, at least not on his part. The scandal centers around the city's use of outside trucking firms for millions of dollars worth of work that was allegedly never done. And ultimately, the buck stops with Abolt. He has been with the mayor for a very long time and is very popular and respected at City Hall and in political circles. Officials say Abolt decided to step aside so as not to be a distraction that would keep Mayor Daley from moving forward with his agenda.
This morning, I received and accepted Bill Abolt's resignation as director of the Office of Budget and Management.
The mayor insists he did not ask or force Abolt to resign, but he says the move is appropriate given the circumstances. Ultimately, it was Abolt that was responsible for oversight of the hired truck program and for communicating with the mayor about any concerns. The mayor says he was effectively kept in the dark with respect to issues surrounding the program.
As budget and management, he had the responsibility, period. He understands that. He understands his role.
But Daley insists in this case that there is a difference between being responsible and being a scapegoat.
He is not a fall guy. See, you like the word fall guy. He has taken responsibility for budget and management, and he understands that.
Earlier in the day, the city announced that it would spend $100,000 to bring in an outside auditor to help develop and implement the new hired truck application process, even though the city is fully aware of the changes that need to be made.
We know internally what needs to be done. We also want to have the assistance of someone who's expert in the field because we place such a high priority on getting this program fixed to the extent it should be fixed.
The mayor says bringing in an outside firm will increase the credibility of the process and help the public have more faith that reform is actually taking place. As for Abolt, he has been in city government since 1993. The mayor says he's a good man and has been a great public servant to the city of Chicago. He also says Abolt will do well in the private sector. And Greg, to that end, the mayor says he's going to help Abolt in his job search, providing him a glowing recommendation.
A lot of speculation, though, that more Daley administration officials will be heading out the door.
Well, no doubt there were several that were holding their breaths, including his chief of staff and the commissioner of transportation. But the mayor made it clear today that there will likely be no other resignations or firings in this case. It looks like Abolt took the proverbial bullet.
All right, Bob Aria, thank you. Joining us now with more on all of this from the Chicago Tribune newsroom is Trib columnist John Cass. And John, you've watched the goings-on at City Hall for quite some time now. Whose mistake is this, Rich Daley's or Bill Abolt's?
Well, it's a bit of both. It's Bill Abel's mistake of taking the job in the first place because he's the fall guy. And it's Daley's mistake because they're all his friends making the money. But Bill Abel will be the one who pays the price. At City Hall, we call it wearing the jacket.
So you're saying Bill Abel should have stayed Environment Commissioner or something like that?
The jacket was put on Bill Abel the moment he took this job, because this is all about cleansing, all right? Once he took the job of budget director, he was going to wear the jacket for it, and he did. Do you think that these things are done? This is not done in a reactive mode, you know. This is a planned out deal. And Bill Abel, the next fall guy will be Al Sanchez. He's another fall guy in waiting. So they grow them and then they pluck them when they're ripe.
Was this audit then a whole sham by Ernst & Young a few years ago?
No, the audit wasn't a sham. The sham was that people actually believed over the last week that the mayor didn't know anything about it. You know, he did know. I mean, all his brother sells the insurance. They're all the trucking, Bridgeport trucking clique are his friends. He was the 11th Ward committeeman. He's Mr. 11th Ward. There's a quarry in the 11th Ward at 29th and Halsted where they all dumped their loads. I mean, Greg.
It's been going on and on and on, and it's still going to go on in your view.
It's still going on, and the only thing that's going to stop it is the U.S. Attorney. But if you stop this thing if you only look for the past 5 years, all you're going to find is fall guys. You've got to look 5 years and then beyond that to the beginning of the Daley administration.
All right. John Cass, columnist for the Chicago Tribune, on the latest on the hired truck program.
Thank you, Greg.
The NTSB says Tuesday's CTA train collision was due to human error. The accident also involved not 2, but 3 trains. Investigators say the operator of the moving train is the one at fault. They say the conductor got distracted when he looked down at people on the street. He didn't see the flashing alarm going off in his train until he was about 10 feet from a standing train.
Operator of the striking train, his only complaint was, if I was telling you about this R6.4, there is an audible and visual alarm. Well, if he's not looking, he's not going to see the visual. But the audible, he thought that it might have been not as loud as it should have been.
The operator of the 3rd train was able to stop in time to avoid the accident. He's involved in the investigation because officials say he was never authorized to move forward from his previous stop. The 3 train operators have been suspended pending the outcome of the investigation. A longtime basketball coach in the western suburbs is facing a child pornography charge. Westchester police say the arrest of Richard Scalaro came after weeks of investigation. They say Scalaro had computerized pictures of child pornography. He has served as a Park District basketball coach in Westchester. Bond was set at $100,000. Bond is set at $200,000 for a man accused of stabbing 5 people at a suburban Super Bowl party. Investigators say John Raynon of Itasca was involved in a quarrel Sunday night at the Spazio restaurant in Deerfield. He faces several charges, including armed violence and battery. Deerfield police say he did not know the individuals he allegedly stabbed. 2 people were hospitalized. Will County authorities are consulting with health experts after a man in the courthouse claimed to have bacterial meningitis. Prosecutors say defendant Bernard Blowers made the meningitis claim when he showed up for a hearing on an unrelated criminal charge. Meningitis is contagious. The judge sealed the courtroom, but apparently after Blowers had left. Now that has authorities looking for him to see if he does in fact have meningitis. They're also reviewing their options to see if others in the busy Joliet courtroom could be impacted.
What we're concerned about is whether we should begin an antibiotic regimen for our employees. One individual apparently at the circuit clerk's office has been informed to do that. We don't know if the statement was true or not, but with the gravity of the disease we're talking about here, we feel that taking some remedial measures very early on may be the way to do it.
Those who get meningitis usually develop symptoms within 2 to 7 days of exposure. A bill on the Illinois Senate floor is aimed at making sure people are never trapped inside a stairwell like they were in the Cook County Administration building fire. The bill requires buildings more than 80 feet tall to keep the stairwell door on every 5th floor unlocked. The victims in the Cook County building fire followed orders to evacuate by the stairs, only to find them filled with smoke. All the doors were locked. A big dose of winter's on the way. We'll take a look at the forecast in just a moment. Keep it here on CLTV around Chicago, around the clock.
I'm John Hillman, president of Copier World. Copier World is the only company in the Chicagoland area that specializes in the resale of copiers, and we've been doing it since 1988. With the economic uncertainty we face, businesses are taking a long look at their spending habits. People are asking themselves, should I be spending $8,000 or more for my next copier? I can give you the answer, absolutely not. This Toshiba copier originally sold for $6,800 and is on sale refurbished for $1,695. You get 25 copies per minute, zoom reduction and enlargement, photo mode, 3 paper sources, a fully automatic document feeder, and more for only $16.95 or $69.95 monthly. If you need digital or more features, you'll be shocked by the cost savings. All copiers are backed by guarantees which will exceed your expectations. So don't spend money if you don't have to. There's no status in overpaying. Call Copier World now at 773-COPIERS. That's 267-4377. Remember, just dial 773-COPIERS.
This weather report is brought to you by SBC, going beyond the call.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Frank. If you feel the Spirit, you got to let me hear it. Hallelujah. Vamos. Mi corazón es como un oso. Ay, por favor.
Talk till you can talk no more.
If you like that, say call again.
Get unlimited nationwide SBC long-distance calling for just $20 a month, guaranteed. One more way, we bring it all home.
Time for CLTV's Weather on the Ones. Let's go to the WGN Weather Center in Keenan Smith. More snow on the way.
More snow on the way. In fact, it could be a lot of snow on the way. They've already posted, the National Weather Service has posted a winter storm watch for all of Chicagoland. This is for Thursday afternoon into Thursday night. We are looking for significant snowfall. Could see 4 to 7 inches of snow. This is what it looks like. All of northeastern Illinois, portions of northwest Indiana, southern Wisconsin, northwest Illinois, all covered under this watch. The red down here in central Illinois is a winter storm warning. And you can see a large swath of the country is going to be affected by this. Snow already falling through portions of Kansas and Missouri, and even a little bit of snow in northwestern Wisconsin right now. That's not what we're looking for in what's going on in northwestern Wisconsin, but just some snow close at hand. Let me show you what's going to happen. We're looking for this storm system to move from the southern plains through the Mississippi Valley up to the southern Great Lakes. And when this happens, we'll see the snow start to fall. This snow will be falling during the afternoon. Allow yourself some extra time for your evening commute on Thursday because it will be impacted by this. We will have snow falling during the commute and once again into the overnight hours. Now, for today, we've seen some clouds building in. First, they were high clouds. Now they've thickened just a little bit. Once again, snow back out to the west. The snow will hold off here across Chicagoland, but southern Illinois, central Illinois could see some snow already pushing in there later on tonight. And you can see some of this trying to make its way, not touching the ground in southwestern Wisconsin. That's why we're not worried about it for now. Once again, it's going to be Thursday night that it really gets nasty. Winds generally out of the east, pretty light, so we're not dealing with terrible wind chills. Kind of cool out there, but not unseasonably cold. 26 degrees our high, 32 is our normal high, so we'll call it a pretty comfortable day. Tonight, increasing clouds, cold temperatures, but not bitterly cold, 12 to 8 degrees, 18 degrees rather, in the Loop. For Thursday, morning clouds, evening and afternoon snow. It'll be heaviest during this afternoon and evening hours, so your commute will be affected. Temperatures between 24 and 28 degrees, 4 to 7 inches possible. Some of that will linger into Friday. Most of it will end, but we could see some flurries on Friday, 27 degrees, light snow or flurries for Saturday, 18 degrees for a high. That's a live check of your weather. Time now for more news with Greg.
At 6:44, here's the latest CLTV around-the-clock traffic. In Northbrook, a person has been struck by a Metro Milwaukee District North train that's just north of Shermer Road. No details on the extent of injuries. Meanwhile, outbound Eisenhower at Harlem, there's an accident blocking the left lane. On the northbound Tri-State at the Lincoln Oasis, there's another accident, this one blocking the left and center lanes. This report is brought to you by AppleVacations.com. Get out of the cold and log on to AppleVacations.com for great vacation deals to the sun with Apple Vacation Sizzling Specials. I'm Beyonce Fox, CLTV Traffic.
The Ford Motor Company is expanding its operations at its Southside Assembly Plant. The #2 automaker is showing off the new Mercury Montego at the auto show this year. Montego is one of 4 new models that will be built in Chicago. 400 to 600 new jobs are expected to be added at the plant and an adjoining supplier park.
Chicago is where we sold our first car, where Henry Ford was inspired to create the moving assembly line, and where we've built cars since 1914.
This year's auto show opens to the public on Friday. A plea to cap property taxes brought elected officials from Chicagoland to Springfield on Wednesday. Their goal, to keep assessments from rising any higher than 7% a year. They say higher assessments lead to higher tax bills and ultimately encourage residents to leave Cook County. Chicago Alderman Ed Smith says seniors are most at risk.
Those are the people today that are really, really suffering. They got to choose between paying property taxes, trying to buy medicine, trying to buy food, and they are being forced out.
Legislators are lobbying for a bill that would limit how high property assessments can grow. Property taxes are based on those assessments. A renewed effort to expand gambling in Illinois. Representative Lou Lang and Senator Denny Jacobs say their plan would generate $1 to $2 billion for the state next year. It would allow riverboat casinos to put in hundreds more slot machines. Horse racing tracks would get 3,000 slots. And Governor Rod Blagojevich blocked any expansion last year, but says he's willing to consider reasonable proposals this session. Here's one homework assignment kids can really get into. Young people across the state were challenged to design a website for their favorite Major League Baseball team. A group of 5th graders from Chicago's Southwest Side came out as the winners. The kids from Wadsworth Elementary School designed the best White Sox site around. They get to go see a game this season. They also get to enjoy a $1,000 check from MajorLeagueBaseball.com. Sherwood Elementary School in Highland Park and a class from the Wakanda Grade School were runners-up. They designed Cubs websites. More local news is ahead here on CLTV. We'll be back in just a moment.
Now there's one more reason to make CLTV your first choice for news. The only station that offers you local news coverage 24 hours a day now brings you Chicagoland's most comprehensive traffic reports. Fast, accurate, and there when you need to know Chicago's road conditions. CLTV's around-the-clock traffic has the information you need every 10 minutes, including weekends. So before you start your commute, turn to CLTV for around-the-clock traffic. CLTV, around Chicago, around the clock.
Are you a busy person who doesn't have time to cook or doesn't like to cook? Or for medical reasons, are you looking for meals prepared for you? I'm Seattle Sutton, a registered nurse and founder of Seattle Sutton's Healthy Eating. Seattle Sutton's Healthy Eating is designed for anyone interested in eating a healthy, well-balanced diet for weight loss or convenience. For more information or your nearest location, call toll-free 800-442-DIET.
No matter what your kitchen looks like now, make it look brand new again with kitchen cabinet refacing from Century 21 Home Improvements, America's leader in cabinet refacing. We have the best selection of styles, colors, and accessories. You're sure to find a design that complements your home perfectly. Your cabinet frames are probably in great shape, so why replace them? You'll save hundreds of dollars by only replacing cabinet doors, drawer fronts, hardware, and countertops. Call Century 21 Home Improvements now and take advantage of our half-off offer. Pay no money down with payments as low as $79 per month. Call Century 21 Home Improvements now.
A winter retreat awaits you at Wilderness on the Lake in Wisconsin Dells. Relax in a fully furnished 2- or 3-bedroom condominium with a 4-season patio, fireplace, and personal whirlpool overlooking scenic Lake Delton. Enjoy exciting indoor water parks, soothing spa, or elegant dining. Winter packages are available. Call 1-866-363-LAKE. Wilderness on the Lake. An escape from everything except luxury.
This business report is brought to you by Harris Bank. Lion Power. It's there when you need it.
This is Lion Power. Another building's being built. One of our 40,000 small business customers is getting some new equipment. A couple gets to buy their first home. Phone calls are returned, questions are answered, problems are solved by Harris people in neighborhoods all over the place. We call home. Lion Power. It's there when you need it.
Taking a look at Wall Street now, the Dow went down 34 points to 10,470. Over on the NASDAQ, it dropped 52 to close at 2014. For the first time in a long time, a family is reunited. Both Nikki and Art Stanek are in the military, serving in Iraq. They're stationed far away from each other in the Middle East and even farther away from their 2-year-old daughter, Alexis. This is the first time they've been together as a family in 9 months, and they are both thrilled to be home to have their daughter in their arms.
Being able to put her to bed, that's the greatest thing, to kiss her goodnight. So, miss it.
Being here is a lot better than being there, but we both have to go back, so, you know, we're gonna make the most of spending time with our daughter.
Now, they both call home every week to talk to their daughter, who's been staying with Art's parents. Art surprised Nikki with a phone call Saturday, though she didn't know he was coming home. Well, up next in sports, all the Cubs can do now is wait. Another team enters a race for Greg Maddux. Which team will he pick is anyone's guess. Also, some local football players practice their autographs on National Signing Day. Don Mitchell will have the details in just a moment, but first, Keenan Smith and your weather on the ones.
For your evening commute, we have high, thin clouds out there, light winds, so not too bad. Seasonably cold temperatures, around 28 degrees, and our warmest locations lakeside. And these temperatures will be falling through the 20s and back into the upper teens tonight. Not going to be a bitterly cold night. We'll see temperatures around 12 degrees well inland. Close to 30 degrees for Thursday. The problem is 4 to 7 inches of snow. This snow will be heaviest during the evening hours, during your evening commute. It'll end about midnight. Then we'll see some flurries early on Friday, 27 degrees, light snow, and flurries on Saturday as well, high of 18.
At 6:51, here's the latest CLTV around-the-clock traffic. Outbound Edens Expressway is slow Foster to Toohey. The outbound Kennedy, that's jammed from the Eisenhower to North Avenue. Inbound is jammed Cumberland to Kimball. At Cumberland, there is a report of an accident involving 2 semis. Over on the outbound Eisenhower at Harlem, an earlier accident continues to block the left lane. And in Northbrook, a person has been struck by a Metro Milwaukee District North train. Commuters can expect some delays during the rush hour. I'm Beyonce Fox with the latest CLTV around-the-clock traffic.
Around-the-clock traffic, only on CLTV.
WGN is Chicago's news and talk.
If anything happens in Chicago, you know to turn on WGN.
Hey, I drive a truck for a living, and WGN has the best traffic reports, period.
Traffic, weather, if my kids get to go to school or don't get to go to school.
There is no other radio station like WGN.
WGN offers you so much more than just the same news over and over. It gives you the people who are making the news.
There's a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, but really in this world today, WGN is a place I go to help me make sense of my world.
Radio 720, WGN.
We're extending our amazing 5 free CDs giveaway. Even we couldn't believe how popular our Video Professor Software Savers offer would be. The phones have been ringing off the hook, stock has been flying off the shelves, but we want everyone to get a free pack of software. So we're extending this amazing offer, giving you time to call in right now and get a great pack of software for the whole family free. These self-help and informational CDs contain a wealth of knowledge that no home should be without. Take a look at what you get free from household names you know and trust, like Home Depot, Rand McNally, American Medical Association, and more. From wallpapering and plumbing to building cabinets, let the Home Depot experts show you how to do all your home improvements. Then create your own home on your PC. Repaint, add a new addition, and see it all in a 3D walkthrough. Create customized, printable travel maps of anywhere in North America. Plan trips ahead of time, add points of interest, restaurant stops, and more. You'll never get lost again. Research almost anything in seconds. History, maps, nature, science, geography, trivia, and more. And for medical help for your family, turn to the Family Medical Guide, covering everything from minor scratches and burns to emergency assistance with CPR, shock, bleeding, and heart attacks. It's essential for any home. That's over $100 in free software that turns all this into this. All you pay is $6.95 for shipping and processing. It really is free. Video Professor gives you all this free because we know once you see how these CDs improve your life, you'll come back to us for more great software. You have no contracts to sign and no commitments. Plus, as an added bonus, if you call right now, we'll also throw in an extra free gift. This free typing tutorial uses fun games and tests to improve your typing skills. This special extended offer can't last forever, so make sure you don't miss out. It's free. It's risk-free. Our friendly operators are standing by, so call right now to get your free software pack. To get your free software pack and free bonus CD, you must call now.
Call 1-800-477-6176.
Hi everyone, I'm Dawn Mitchell with your CLTV Sports Update. Cubs GM Jim Hendry wants to be a patient man, but it's hard when you want Greg Maddux and all you can do is wait. Hendry sitting tight as the Dodgers jump into the tug of war for his services. The Cubs and the Dodgers are 2 of 5 reported teams vying for the pitcher's talents. Agent Scott Boras hoping Hendry would up his 2-year $10 million offer to possibly $14 million. Hendry says he's given it his best shot and now waits for a decision. Hopefully coming back to Wrigley, coming to a winning team, and playing for Dusty Baker will help ease that multi-million-dollar gap. According to ESPN Radio, talks have been rekindled between the Sox and the Dodgers, perhaps Odalis Perez for either Frank Thomas or Paul Konerko. If the Big Hurt stays put, and Ozzie Guillen and he need to learn to play nice, don't they? Sox owner Jerry Reinsdorf downplaying the rift between the Big Hurt and his new skip. After all, there's no crying in baseball.
I'm sure everything's going to be fine with Frank. You know, Frank and Ozzie always had a love-hate relationship. They get along. One thing Frank wants to do is be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to come out. He's a competitor. He's going to play as hard as he possibly can.
Now to the other end of the spectrum, unblemished, unspoiled athletes and the hungry college football coaches salivating over their fax machines, emails, PDAs. That's right, today is National Signing Day. Simeon's Bryant Kramer, one of many local players signing on the dotted line, the all-state wide receiver, signing with Illinois this afternoon. That's not only a happy occasion for Kramer, but for all the other coaches receiving talent.
And some of them were highly recruited, some of them were rated very highly, some of them weren't that highly recruited, some of them weren't maybe rated that highly. But we don't care. We watched the film, we saw, we liked what we saw, and we saw guys that were football players.
To basketball, where it's all in the numbers today, Scott Skiles is $7,500 lighter in the wallet after Monday night's rant. And tonight, Utah head coach Jerry Sloan is looking for $900 against the Bulls, as a 900th win. Today, the NBA fining Skiles for his tirade against referee Jess Kersey in Seattle. A new focus tonight, Sloan in the Jazz. Yeah, the Bulls need a win. They've lost 5 straight and 11 of their last 12. Well, Nancy Reagan used to say, just say no. Today, Bobby Knight's new mantra is just walk away. Knight accepting blame for his verbal spat over the salad bar with Texas Tech's Chancellor Dr. David Smith. Knight says he wasn't the instigator, but accepts blame for not walking away.
And we decided last night that if that's the way it went with suspension, I would go through whatever means were available to fight that. But I would have stayed through the suspension simply because I feel so strongly about this situation, this school, this community, and these kids.
To the general to feel strongly. That's it for sports. I'm Dawn Mitchell. Keep it here for more news on CLTV.
Free?
Free?
You're giving it away free.
Hi, I'm Rob Graham, the president of Vital Basics, and I want to give you a bottle of Focus Factor, one of our best-selling supplements, absolutely free. Why would we give away a free bottle of Focus Factor? Because we know that if you try it, you'll buy it. Focus Factor contains nutrients that work with your natural brain chemistry to support focus, concentration, and memory. With satisfied customers in all 50 states, now is your chance to try Focus Factor absolutely free. Simply call the number on the bottom of your screen and we'll send you a full-size bottle of Focus Factor, a $75 value, absolutely free. You simply provide $4.95 to help cover the cost of shipping.
They let you try it free? It must be good.
You know, I've been taking Focus Factor since we introduced it over 2.5 years ago, and I wouldn't work a day without it.
To get your free bottle of Focus Factor, call now. 1-800-716-4905. 1-800-716-4905.
Old Man Winter is barging in. And with the Chicagoland weather changing so quickly, you need updates all day long. So turn to CLTV for weather on the ones. Before you start your day, before you go to work, whenever you need the latest information, CLTV's weather on the ones. Updated weather conditions and forecasts every 10 minutes. And if a big storm is on the horizon, we'll break in to tell you about it. CLTV, around Chicago, around the clock.
You in? I'm in. In?
In. Who's in? We're in.
Verizon Wireless introduces In. Free in-network calling.
I'm in.
I'm in.
He's in.
He's in.
You're in.
I'm in.
You're in.
she's in?
Join in and call to any Verizon Wireless customer anytime, anywhere, absolutely free from our national in-network coverage area.
We're in.
With a network of 36 million people, that's a lot of free calling.
We're in.
Are you in?
You better believe I'm in.
Good.
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
The news continues around Chicago around the clock on CLTV.
Hello, I'm Greg Prather. Here's a look at some of the stories making headlines here on CLTV.